Hey, look at this guy. Didn't dare put a single brush through his hair at all, and not a single comb. Just got out of bed. Just all right. I'm on my way to the Piers Morgan show.
Not war. But he talks about peace all the time. He's trying to find it in Ukraine. He seems to have found it in the Middle East. I'm not sure what else he has to do, given that Barack Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize 8 months into his tenure in his first presidency for basically making a couple of fancy speeches. But it seems people don't want to give him the Nobel Peace Prize because he's Donald Trump.
Yeah, I don't think Donald Trump has an interest in peace. He just wants to get rid of problems and move on to the next thing. Again, we already
see. It's like Destiny's position is just everything just has to be Donald Trump bad. Orange man bad. Everything. That's all his position is. Like, Destiny is worthless, not even just because of the kind of human being he is, but he just really has nothing of value to add to the conversation. Like, seriously, you just replace him with any fucking lefty. Same thing. Like, how is Destiny seen as one of the brilliant ones on the left? You could interchange him with anybody on the left, and it's going to be the same thing. Orange man bad. Oh, okay. That was really valuable there.
We had peace in the Middle East with the Abraham Accords, and we saw where that led. Now we've got whatever the ceasefire is, the 20-point plan, I think is kind of a joke. He came in saying that he was going to figure out all these issues on day one. He hasn't. He let Israel wage basically maximally the war they wanted to wage. They were able to eliminate essentially every enemy, all the top brass in Hamas, twice. They bombed Qatar. They got the United States to bomb Iran. They, Syrian regime, Bashar al-Assad, his regime collapsed. They killed Nasrallah. They got, rid of Hezbollah. The idea that Trump has come in and brokered peace after Israel has essentially eliminated all enemies, and then the peace that was brokered is this insanely one-sided favorable deal to the Israelis. I feel like they're just setting themselves up for some other terrorist attack in the future, and then we're all going to be scratching our heads, looking around like, I can't believe this is happening again.
Tara,
Destiny, you won. You have Trump derangement syndrome. Congratulations. You win.
Well, at least Destiny's here prepared to talk about it. The people.
You know what? Nadine is right. $7,000. I see it now. There's the. Is that a monthly payment or a yearly payment?
Honestly, I wish I got it. I really, really wish I did. If someone else is making it, I would love the directions of how I can get the money too. But thus far, I haven't been offered, nor have I received. But thank you again for a baseless accusation.
Okay, we cleared.
To be clear, you just basically accused me of having Trump derangement syndrome. I think my criticism is pretty pointed. There is no concrete plan for what this is going to look like afterwards. Israel.
Baselessly, no, it's pretty based that you have Trump derangement syndrome, Destiny. Everything that you have to say is just orange man bad. Nothing worthwhile to say whatsoever. Don't add anything valuable to the conversation.
Got to end the war. They got to eliminate all enemies. They're getting to do damage to the infrastructure of the West.
By the way, they didn't. Hamas is everywhere, all over Gaza, flaunting how they've won this.
What has Israel been doing for 2 years if they're still everywhere? How many more places do they need to bomb?
Did you see the videos coming out of Gaza that Hamas is cheering and parading?
Well, then I don't know how much more time you need. I don't know how many more bombs you have to drop. At some point your war is over. Like, you figured it out. Like, you can't.
At some point, Hamas needs to surrender and demilitarize. Did you ever think about that?
Oh, well, a complete surrender, demilitarized would have been a good thing for Trump to arrange more than, a year into his presidency. So that's why I don't give him any credit for it.
All right, Tara, let me bring you in here because you're probably, I would say, the neutral member of the panel in many ways. It does seem there is a double standard about Trump. Nobel Peace Prize, credit for forging peace. Do you think there is a double standard?
I do think, like you said, noted that President Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize in 8 months. It's probably more of a symbol in a lot of ways than what it actually represents. Will this actually lead to peace? I think he should apply again because the application date was around January when he was not even inaugurated. How could he be, how could he put his name forward before he's even president yet? And even in this case, it's a little early days. I think we need to see if there is actual peace. Next week, this could all be broken. As we've said, Hamas has yet to give up its arms. Gaza is still occupied by Israel.
Yeah, there are lots of unanswered questions, but I do find it extraordinary that Bernie Sanders, for example, so vocal about Trump, right? Last week, in the last 7 days, 16 anti-Trump posts on his X account. He hasn't mentioned the Middle East at all. Bernie Sanders, a man who ran for president, hugely big figure in the United States political arena, hasn't mentioned this on his feed. All he's done is relentless Trump bashing about other stuff. And I'm like, it's so transparent that You talk about Trump derangement syndrome. How does that manifest itself? If you are a senior politician in the United States and you can't find it in yourself, even Hillary Clinton gave Trump credit for this because she knows how difficult it is to get to this place.
Yeah.
I just think to Bernie Sanders, I asked him directly, what's stopping you saying something, anything? You're very vocal all day long about Trump. And the reason
Bernie Sanders is just a hater. He's just a jealous old bitter hater, jealous of everyone. Oh, I'm jealous of people who are richer than me. I'm jealous of Trump because he actually became president twice, where my old ass didn't.
Reason is he doesn't want to say anything positive about Trump, so he'd rather not talk about this incredibly historic moment in the Middle East, which is, an example of just how unhinged a lot of Trump's opponents become.
Well, this is all political theater at the backdrop.
Well, let Tara respond.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think it's the fact that it feeds President Trump's ego. They find him detestable. The fact that he needs these plaudits and awards. They don't like him as a person. It's political, obviously. But yeah, this is a big deal. He got Benjamin Netanyahu in the Oval Office to apologize to Qatar.
Huge.
He created a relationship with the Israeli prime minister that no other president has in decades. And he was able to almost strong arm this moment that we got to right now. And yes, he deserves credit for it. But the whole question is, does it hold up? And that's why this year-long evaluation for his Nobel Peace Prize makes the most sense. He probably hates that he has to wait for it, but I think it will show if this holds up. And I think
we slightly lost you there, Tara. Sorry, Tara, we lost you for a couple of seconds there.
On this issue, and that they're...
Tara, just repeat your last point because you were frozen.
Oh, yeah. I'll just finish on this last point if I have... Yeah, my last point is that I hope that this period of time that it will take for them to decide if he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize will keep him fixed on the Middle East and will not just be something he can check off and, say, I did this, that it will make sure that there's actual follow through on this 20-point plan.
Yeah, Brandon, do you feel there's a double standard when it comes to giving Trump credit for this kind of thing?
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, I think Trump derangement is the real thing. I think these people, like for me, if there was a Democrat that...
I mean, how could you not look at destiny here and not think that Trump derangement syndrome is the thing? I mean, look at this guy. Looks all disheveled. Like I said, just looked like he got out of bed and just head straight to Piers Morgan. I mean, this is like the face of TDS right here.
Negotiated this. I don't care how much I don't like these Democrats. I'd be like, this is great, man. That's a win. If Barack Obama does something good, that was great. I like when he do things well. It's our country. So I'm hoping that he gets victories. But you look at it. Look at what happened, Piers. You see people that Trump has negotiated peace, the ones who claimed it was a genocide and that babies are dying, he's gotten it to stop, and they won't even celebrate that because they hate him so much. This should be a celebration, at least in part. Donald Trump is not God. And to be honest, the only threat of this backfiring is from the Palestinians and from Hamas. It's not like Israel's going to go back on it. They're going to do another terrorist attack is the fear. But, I hope that it works. And we should all be cheering for it to work. We should all be giving input on, what's the next step here? Because Trump can't control everything. But
I agree. And also, Emily, I mean, I just feel that it gives you much more credibility, whoever you are, if you're prepared to just look at the big picture and give your opponent credit where they deserve it. It just gives you more credibility. I think one of the problems of social media, it's got so tribal and so toxic that even when a new fact comes out about your side, which is obviously very damning or wrong, people will try and pretend it isn't because they think that shows weakness. When in fact, to actually criticize your own side from time to time or to credit the other side is a good thing for democracy. And I wish we could get back to a place where we could all do that quite freely. I criticize Trump quite regularly, but I praise him quite regularly. I think that's the right. I was the same with Obama. I just think that is the way a proper democracy works, right? But when people are so intransigent about giving any credit to someone like Donald Trump, whatever he does, I just think to me they lose credibility.
I mean, I think you can give credit. Just give credit where credit is due. There's been like 6 Israel-Gaza wars. 2008, 2014, Cast-led and Protective Edge. These were huge, wars that had ceasefires after them. The conflict has been never-ending. Well, basically since the inception of the state of Israel between Israel and.
Well, we've never had this number, Destiny, of Arab and Muslim countries come together to team up in this way.
But they haven't come together to team up. The letter that was written, the unifying letter, all of it was, we hope that they, abide by international law.
Well, no, they endorsed the Trump plan, though.
The words that they're using are saying, we hope that something actually comes from
this. Yeah, but
this is like all the plans that Trump had, all the trade deals.
Well, I thought
the United States has no trade deals. There is no lasting peace right now between Israel and Gaza. This is like the framework of
Well, actually, America does have a lot of new trade deals with countries.
None.
Well, actually, it has a lot.
What? Zero.
No, that's not true.
It's true. We have zero. It's absolutely true.
Oh, the UK, you're sitting in the United Kingdom. We have a trade deal.
You do not have a trade deal.
Yes, we do.
No, there is no trade deal. These things are not one page signed and posted on Twitter. They're extensive things that encompass entire markets and tons of writing for it. Like there's no trade deal.
We have agreed a 10% tariff on UK products to the United States. That is a trade deal.
That's not a trade deal. That's an entry on an Excel spreadsheet. A trade deal is a comprehensive market encompassing thing that actually dictates terms that you can rely on for, decades to come. It's not a thing that can change on a whim.
But do you dispute that Trump has managed to negotiate a series of deals with countries which are, in terms of tariffs, more advantageous now to America than they were in January?
No, our prices on everything are going up.
That wasn't my question.
No, they're not advantageous. They're hurting the economy in every measurable way. Inflation is up. The amount of taxes now.
Why are stock markets at record highs?
Because the stock market always goes up. It was under record highs under Obama. Of course it does. Every presidency.
When he launched his global tariff war, the stock market collapsed.
In the long term.
Now, having been promised Armageddon within 6 months, we've got to the point of 6 months, and the stock markets are higher than they were before he launched the tariff.
It's not as high as it should be, but the stock market will tend upwards. That's how the stock market works.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It takes time. Like Donald Trump is making an effort to do this, and it takes time to come to fruition. I hope that you will be cheering for it to come to fruition and that Donald Trump is going to realize some of these things that he's put into place. Some of these negotiations will go through in a better way. Don't you wish that, Destiny? I think we all want that. Right?
I don't know what anybody wants. We're talking about giving the Nobel Peace Prize, hopefully, to a guy who is declaring war on his own cities. I mean, I don't know what the actual goal is, right?
Dude, and yet Destiny thinks that it's a baseless claim that he has TDS when he's saying that Trump is declaring wars against his city. Like, what the hell is he talking about? Oh, you mean trying to protect these cities from themselves? Trying to protect these cities from their stupid ass libtard fucking governors?
You know how ridiculous that is?
I do. I agree. It is ridiculous. I'm glad we can agree on that.
You know what's interesting?
He's going to go to war with Chicago.
You know what's interesting? I was watching Don Lemon. I was watching the citizen journalist Don Lemon out with his microphone, and he was talking to people in various cities about putting the National Guard on the streets. And you know what they all said, to his astonishment? They were all in favor of it.
I would be too if my city was overrun by crime and gangs and shootings and stabbings and murders.
If you feel the police is under-resourced and ineffective and is not protecting you, then I think people actually have rather liked the visibility of members of the National Guard on the streets. And people can call it the militarization, the creeping fascism, all these things, or they could actually ask the people that live in those places, how do you feel about having some National Guard people on the streets? They actually feel comforted by the visibility of National Guard on their streets. So maybe Trump.
The only people who don't like law enforcement are criminals. That's the reality.
Right. These are just politicians that are running their mouth. Just like Black Lives Matter when they want to defund the police. You ask people that live in the hood, they love the police. They want the police there. They get sick of their kids getting shot in the middle of the street. So most people, go to Chicago. Go to D.C. Remember when they were protesting D.C.? A bunch of white people. The majority of D.C. population is Black. None of the Black people are out there protesting. It's a bunch of leftist nut jobs and politicians who are pushing this agenda. Most people want to be safe. The property value goes up when it's safe. Stores come into the community. The economy is boosted. Your schools are better. No person on earth want crime to be rampant in their cities. Okay. And when their politicians do nothing, then Trump has to step in.
All right, let me give the last word to Nadine.
Yeah, listen, Destiny is insane. We already knew going into this that Destiny was just going to be like, no, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad. That's the only thing that he knows how to do. He's talked about this strategy where, Not So Erudite has talked about that strategy where Destiny just doesn't want to cut to the right at all. He just doesn't want to do anything that gives Donald Trump or the right any sort of credit whatsoever, but it makes him come off like a freaking lunatic. And yeah, and definitely he has TDS, total TDS, where he can't give Trump any credit at all, denies anything positive that Donald Trump has done. Again, I don't know what makes him valuable on these shows other than he just says outrageous things. But if he just didn't say outrageous things, I don't understand the value of bringing Destiny on. You could just have anyone there to just be like, well, no, Donald Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad. What's the difference between Destiny and some other freaking Trump deranged lefty? Nothing. They all say the same shit. So I don't understand why they keep bringing Destiny on. But who knows? Maybe there's a lot of people who like seeing Destiny still. I don't know. What do you guys think, though? Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this. And if you like seeing Piers Morgan stuff, I got a playlist for you on the screen that I think you'll enjoy. And as long a lot of other playlists full of content that I think you'll enjoy.